Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the market outlook and recap for the week ending week 18, May 6th, as we lead into week 19, starting May 9th, 2016. As always, please seek financial advice when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only to support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, let's go ahead and do a brief recap for week 18. Always want to check out the trading session focus. There we roll. It was 15 setups all the way around on 3 markets. YM, ES, and NQ regular trading hours, 570 ticks net. It was really the NQ for the week, 325, ES 71, YM 174. That was start of the moves from the beginning of the week. Monday and Tuesday really were the explosive days, as Wednesday and Thursday leading into non-farm payrolls. So pretty much quiet days with little pockets of trend, and then Friday explosive to the upside. Well, in those pockets, there were some nice trends all around on all 3 indices, waiting for at least 3 charts in the green, looking for moves like this, letting your winners run and cutting your losses short. And if it wasn't for the 3 indices, you were looking at the crude. There's the gold in the standard setup. Buy signal on all, ALL capital, all to the upside in the green. Pullback, re-entry on the buy signal. Small re-entry here, might have been taken out on the pullback, but then you're back in on the solid body to the upside there on the crude. And there it was on Friday session. Re-entry, trend number 4 of the day. Buy signal to the upside, bang! And to the heavens she went. And that's right, that's the way we ended the week. Let's take a look at some of the futures. Let's start out here with the euro. Euro looking from the perspective of the markets. Looking at the 4-hour daily and weekly charts. 4-hour T3 moving average. Again, the background green color indicating the 51.44, a great indicator of current momentum trend, as the multiple moving averages sitting to the upside and the hike and actually oscillating, actually pausing right now to the downside. So we're waiting on a stall action inside the 51.44. Bigger picture still remains upside. T3 moving averages to the upside with the 51.44. So the short term, we are still just in a pullback on a bigger time frame. But the big time frame, at least on a weekly, we are nothing more than a short-term pullback in a huge downtrend on the euro. Let's jump into crude here. Crude again, price action to the upside here, 50 above the 144 as price action holding to the upside. T3 moving averages just sliding sideways here, 50 above. T3 moving averages holding, watching for the crossover this week as price action, multiple moving averages holding upside. But again, the bigger picture still the downside, but the daily actually holding there. We'll go ahead and take a look at the daily gaps here in a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about. But nice price action lifting up there. Let's take a look at the gap numbers. Price action closed out that former gap to the upside here on the crude on a Fibonacci extension, as we have one up above, but right now finding support still around that 50%. If crude falls that support here, comes down to 250, I could see us at least closing out one of these gaps, 37.9. I do have another one on the futures charts. Let's take a look at ES. ES price action to the downside. That's right, finally crossing over downside on the futures chart. Crossing over here, everything in the red finally on Friday session. Not looking good yet. Back to the upside. Again, bigger picture on the daily down. And ES still pretty much in a primarily uptrend on the bigger picture, but for the short term, we are definitely in a pullback. Let's take a look at the ES on the fib draws. On the fib draws, we're down here at 23%. Tapped that 50 this week. 200 period moving average. Next one in sight if the trend is to continue. Let's jump into gold here. Taking a look at GC. T3 moving averages upside. 50 above the 144. Multiple moving averages both on a 4-hour and a daily weekly chart, as price action just on a pullback taps the 50 and bounce back to the upside. So again, current trend on the gold still in an uptrend. Again, Will take a little bit of time for that weekly to change as the 50 well below the 144 down here, but at least the weekly still continuing to move upside. Let's take a look at the NQ. Is price action on the NQ here. Price action to the upside. T3 moving average is down. 50 still below the 144. Price action here, T3 moving average is coming back down, but it's here the NQ still in an uptrend for the most of February, March, mid-February, March, uptrend, T3 moving average. So right now, NQ, the index in control here. Let's take a look at the pullback here is Fibonacci to the 23%, and then finally down to 38. We broke that 200 and down. Now we're down below the 50. Look for each level to the downside. 50% fib for support. We break that 61.8. We'll eventually go out and close that open gap. Let's take a look here at the TF Russells. The TF Russell T3 moving averages to the upside now on Friday's session as she holds here at the 200 on the daily. Price action rejects on the weekly here, upside on for the last 2 weeks. So get that TF Russell back above that T3 moving average, the 50 above the 144 and an uptrend. So bigger picture still uptrend, but at least on a daily, we're still in a downtrend and a pullback, and what we've been seeing is an uptrend. So decision time on the TF Russell, as you can see, the multi-moving averages pretty much weaving inside each other, and we're pretty much at Heikin-Ashi oscillating right at zero. So no decision yet. We'll have to see the intraday for the week. Again, TF Russell holding up here at the 50 period moving average as a Friday session. We went ahead and closed out that open gap from mid-April. So look at the fib lines here on the YM. Price action, fib retracement down to 23%, 50 and 200 EMA. Find support at the 50 period moving average. Closed out that open gap this week here at 17,656. Clear it out. Yep. All indexes will eventually close out open gaps. Our next one all the way down at 15,924. You could say you heard it here. That's right. We will eventually get down there. And finally, to wrap up the YM on the big picture, T3 moving averages back to the upside, but look at the reject there at the 144. Gotta love that 4-hour chart as price action kicks it right up, rejects. We're only in a pullback, so that resistance there with that pullback, dual here between the daily and the 4-hour. So if the 4-hour solid Heikin-Ashi bars manages to push back upside and hold this trend, and we find nothing more than a support here at the daily, good job, because you know what? That holds up the weekly, which is T3 moving averages upside and 50 above 144. So decision week coming up. All right, let's jump right in to the daily big pick as we look at each day. Again, a little summary here for the last week. Volume being about average, nothing really poking its head upside besides last week's session, or 2 week, almost a week and a weekend. So there it is. Average volume on the YM poking above the 60 period moving average. So pretty good volume considering that we had some days where price action was absolutely lifting on no volume at all back here in mid-March. All right, so anyway, NQ we know to be holding down below the 50 and the 200. Same picture now here on the S as we approach the 50. We found that support in the YM. So two different pictures here, below the 50, 200 on the NQ and holding here on the YM and ES. There's the 144, 50 as we just showed you on the former charts. We are in a confirmed downtrend on all three. That's right, all three 4-hour charts from the NQ, ES, and YM. 50 is below the 144. So telltale this week, if YM, there was reject on 50 at the 50 EMA. If she holds there and comes back downside, that will lead the daily to break the 50 period moving average, and the weekly obviously to pull back on that green background, which we are currently in an uptrend. All right, so there's our daily big pick. Looking ahead to the week, I could only tell you where the current technical momentum is. I can tell you where the resistance is. It will take for intraday action on 4 charts, like we just showed in the green, back on our, there it is, intraday pick. So if the momentum is to the upside, regardless of the weekly or the daily pick or the 4-hour chart, as long as you have those indices in sync, I'm sorry, those charts in sync, it doesn't matter which direction you go in. You go already always in both directions. All right, let's take a look at the daily gaps. Price action again, nothing substantial here as the YM and some of the other indices close out some gaps here. TF Russell, significant gap to the downside here, 15,924 all the way to the downside, only at 23%. But let's take a jump at the crude here as those open gaps on the futures chart significant to the downside here from April 18th at 40.24 and 37.90 all the way down here from mid-April. Taking a look at the VPOC, keep those VPOCs, those volume profiles in mind. Again, volume, love the volume profile. How much trade, not what time, but how much trade took place at a certain price tells a lot more in price action. So there's the VPOC again on the YM here at 17,546. This week we had a change in the NQ, now up at 42.81. As we were down here at about 42.60. So VPOC now, and then we can see the settlement right there. Also ES right above, a couple days, at least the whole week, almost settling around that 20.60.50 zone. And again, crude to the upside. All right, taking a look ahead for the week. Econ data. Here we are, Monday. We jumped a week ahead. Let's take a look at this week, starting with May 9th. Light economic data on Monday as we roll into JOLTS on Tuesday. And then mortgage, always looking for the crude report on Wednesday, Thursday jobless claims, and finishing up the week pretty strong on the retail sales. Always make sure to keep ahead of anything going on in the global news. All right. That concludes an insight into the market outlook and recap. Again, as we just looked at the daily Big Pic, resistance up ahead. NQ leading index to the downside. We'll see if the trend moves ahead. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com or in my social media outlets to obtain more information. Check out the trading session focus each week as we cover the 3 indices and crude trends of the day. You can always find me every day on Twitter as well at tradingfibs. Check out my tweets, posts of trade setups and analysis, including multiple moving averages to keep you in the time frame. And the trend. My trading mantra of one simple strategy: any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. Please also make sure you check out the futures, ETFs, and market cap leaders. That's where you'll catch this week's video link in case you forgot where it is, as well as the weekly supplemental technical momentum outlook. 98 pages of fun. That's right, 98 pages of charts and indices to give you a better insight into some of the other markets that I'm looking at. From a brief summary, let me roll up here. Check that out. There it is, the brief summary on all the charts. And again, you can find that at the ETFs and market cap leaders, from the ETF futures to the key indices, from Amazon all the way down to the total stock market index. I only trade what's in front of me and on my charts, Jedi traders, and always I really do leave my bias at the door when trading. I leave the crystal ball to the experts. Have yourself a Blue Zone week. Good day, good night, and good trading.